Mario Kart World is a huge game, and it's filled with a lot of characters. Granted, we don't even know how many characters are on the roster, but we do know a lot of them. And so I kind of just wanted to take today and go over every single confirmed costume that we have some kind of visual for. Huge shout out to the Mario Wiki for making this a lot easier on me, because there are, so far, 149 confirmed characters for this game, including costume variants. But I didn't want to just sit here and go, look, here's Mario. Here's Mario in a baseball hat. I wanted to make it at least a little bit interesting. So for today's video, we're actually doing a tier list. Now I hear you, how do you rank different character costumes? On best visuals, the coolest looking, what I'm most excited to play as? No. I thought the most engaging way to rank these characters would be based on how well I would do in a fight against them. And I mean, like me. Just barehanded taking on this character and everything that implies. So our tiers today are not even a contest, easy with a bit of a struggle, barely win, it's an even match, barely lose, beat me by a good margin, and I'm in the obituaries for anything that would just straight up kill me. So finally, today we'll be answering the question, out of all 149 confirmed visually seen characters in Mario Kart World so far, how many of them could a 5'10", 228-pound white boy from Pennsylvania beat in a fight? And we're gonna start off with Mario Jumpman Mario himself. And yes, we will be listing every single costume separately on this tier list, because, I don't know, sometimes the trip makes a difference. As far as for the main actual Mario, he is just kind of a guy, right? So I am tempted to say barely win or even match because he is just a guy, but then I thought about it a little bit more. He doesn't have any power-ups in this moment, he's just Mario, and if we are to use New Donkians as human-sized references here, that does put him at a slight disadvantage, but then again, if we're using the Mario movie as reference, then he's about human-sized. So it's a little bit of an information gap here, but since the movie takes a lot of liberties, we're going to stick with the game information we have. And assuming that New Donkians are similar to humans, I'm gonna give myself easy with a bit of a struggle for just normal Mario. After all, I've got like 4 feet on him, 1 swift kick, and I should take this home. But we have a couple variants here, and I would be remiss to leave them out. Our first one being this very cool Mario with a backwards baseball hat. This is listed as the mechanic costume, and well, if he's a mechanic, I feel like he's a bit stronger than usual, maybe has a wrench on him, and giving him a weapon and some kind of purpose in life, I want to actually bump him a little down to barely win. On the other side of things is the touring outfit, where he's in this casual outfit with a jacket and jeans and no hat. And we all know from Super Mario 64, once Mario loses his hat, he's basically a helpless baby, so I'm kicking him right down to not even a contest. Which then drastically changes once we see his all-terrain outfit, which is basically him in armor. Yeah, this one's going to it's an even match at best. Frankly, I'm gonna move him down to barely lose. I think I barely lose this fight, because now he's protected, so my swift kick is doing a lot less. And the same can be said for this unconfirmed name, but probably called Pro Racer outfit, where he's got a full-on helmet. And then as far as the even match goes, I think giving Mario a little bit of a purpose really just means he has a job, and several of these costumes are just kind of Mario with a job. That'd be Dune Rider, Aviator, and Cowboy, because this is just Mario with some purpose in his life, so it makes him stronger if he knows what he's doing. And I'm just deciding now that I'm gonna do the whole category for that character at the same time, which means that I do have 2 more that we're just gonna slot in where I think they make the most sense. For Turista, he's literally dressed down as if he's hanging out, and that makes me feel like it's not even a contest. And then as far as the easy with a bit of struggle, he doesn't look too coordinated in that outfit. I think a strong push, just like normal Mario, I can kick him out of here. Now we move on to Luigi, the more helpless of the 2 brothers. This is going to be a very similar rank to Mario, but like with a severe disadvantage because Luigi is a known coward. And lucky for us, most of these costumes have a 1-for-1 match. So with my logic, since Luigi's just a little bit worse than Mario, the ones that have direct matches can line up but just 1 rank lower. So Pro Racer and All Terrain, instead of barely lose, they'll be even match. He's a more cowardly brother, but he's got armor now. For Farmer and Gondolier, same logic as the other job ones. Once he has a purpose, he's harder to beat, but still, that's a barely win because it's Luigi. Mechanic is a little frightening. I just realized Mechanic is job but armed, so Mario's actually going up to even match, and Luigi Mechanic is going to barely win. Actually, no. I'm bumping Mechanic up to barely lose, and Luigi Mechanic to even match. Again, job so he actually has a purpose, but armed. And then finally, these more like touring adjacent costumes. I'm not afraid of Luigi. I'm putting all 3 of them in not even a contest, including his casual touring outfit, his Japanese touring outfit, and this Sarasa Land inspired outfit. I wanted to start with Mario and Luigi, but I'm gonna leave the rest of this to the random order that's been assigned by tier maker. That being said, all the characters are at least grouped, so that'll make my life a lot easier. But that does mean that our next character is Baby Daisy. And I hear you. Rye, these should all be in not even a contest, they're babies. I actually have a secret. There's a secret additional category I have not shared, and that's I would go to jail if I tried. And that's gonna be all the baby characters. I'm not going to sit here and talk at length about how the different outfits of a baby means I can better or worse beat them up in a fight. So that would include Baby Daisy and all of her outfits: Touring, Pro Racer, Explorer, and Sailor. Then for some reason, we have an enemy. I kinda wanted to save these to the end, but sure, he's now here, Parabidibub. What a guy. If he's linked to Mario's size, he's probably like a foot tall, but he is kind of bug adjacent, so he's a little frightening. All this to say, he can fly, so he would probably run away from me. But if he gets anywhere close to me, I'm squishing him hard. So I think he goes to It's an Even Match. Again, he looks like just a little guy I could crush, but he can fly. Next up is Berto, and look, regular Berto, you do not fuck with regular Berto. She will mess your entire day up. She can shoot eggs that don't fall, which I can only assume mean they're that forcefully shot. And, you know, she just gives this aura of I don't take shit from anybody. So I'm putting Berto and the 2 visual confirmed variants we have of her right into the obituaries. Or rather, right where I would be in the obituaries. And that's Berto, Pro Racer, and Vacation. Next up, we have Baby Luigi and his 2 known variants, which all go to I would go to jail if I tried. And that's Baby Luigi, Pro Racer Baby Luigi, and this like cute little construction worker Baby Luigi. Baby Mario's next, same exact logic. Baby Mario, Pro Racer Baby Mario, Construction Baby Mario, and Snorkel Baby Mario. Next up, we've got everyone's favorite father figure, Bowser. Going off of how tall we think Mario is, and then linking that up with Bowser, it's a little difficult to say for sure how big he is, which I think is a very important distinction, because like, yes, he can breathe fire, and he's got sharp spikes, and he's really strong, but if he's only like 3 feet tall, then I might stand a chance. But the problem with comparing how big Bowser is to Mario is that his size changes pretty much every single game. And sometimes, like in Mario 64, he's just a bit taller than Mario, then sometimes he's just massive for no reason. Not to mention things like Galaxy, although I think there was other things going on with that game too, for the reason why Bowser was that big. So I'm just going to assume he's as big as you think he would be, which is much bigger than an average human. So that being said, Bowser and pretty much all of his variants are going right into I'm in the obituaries, which would include Bowser, his biker form, his Pro Racer form, his all-terrain form, and this unnamed one. It's something in German, I don't know. Now his kid, however, I'm not putting into I would go to jail if I tried, because this kid is a criminal, so I can just claim it was self-defense. That being said, he's a little dumb brat. I'm putting all Bowser Jr. variants into not even a contest, which of the ones we have, look like it's going to be Biker Jr., some kind of like Boy Scout outfit, and something with a racing helmet with a visor, which I'm assuming is Pro Racer, but we don't have a confirmed name. However, Baby Peach, going straight to I would go to jail if I tried, and that's every variant of Baby Peach we have. Obviously Baby Peach herself, but also Touring, what looks like Pro Racer, another Explorer outfit, and another Sailor outfit. Baby Rosalina actually is an interesting conversation here. Because yes, if I tried to fight this baby, I would go to jail. But I think there's a different, more interesting answer here. Because Rosalina is like a space goddess, essentially. So if Rosalina, who floats around, still has these powers, I'm pretty comfortable saying, jail or not, I'm in the obituaries with every Baby Rosalina variant, outfit or not. So that would be Baby Rosalina, her touring outfit, a Pro Racer outfit, Explorer, and Sailor. Next up, we've got a couple enemies in a row, starting off Cataquack. Now, I don't have to explain this to you. If you've played Super Mario Sunshine or Mario Kart Double Dash on Peach Beach, and you've encountered these Cataquacks, you know why I'm immediately putting this guy into I'm in the obituaries. These eyes have killed and will kill again. Next up, however, on the opposite side of the spectrum, Cheep Cheep. This is just a fish. I can beat a fish in a fist fight in real life. I don't care if it's bigger, it is just a fish. Next up is Chargin' Chuck. Now this is where things get actually interesting. Chargin' Chuck, probably the same size if a little bigger than Mario, especially if we go off of Mario Party sizes. But he is just kind of a big guy in a football outfit. He's not as terrifying as, say, a spiked turtle that breathes fire. I still think I lose here, but I think I put up a bit more of a fight. So he's going to be our first beat me by a good margin category. Coin coffer is a purse. It's like Naruto's coin purse. This is not a hard fight. I'm in fact making money off of beating this guy up. Conch door, on the other hand, is terrifying. Now, he does have one massive weak spot, being this like 5-foot section of neck that the Mario Brothers never attack for some reason. But like, to be fair, he does have a very deadly beak attack that seems to be able to break metal in certain games. I'm a little scared, and if he hits me once, I'm dead. But I do feel like one swift roundhouse to the middle of this neck and he's out of commission. So I kind of want to say it's an even match, because either way, we're both going down with one hit. Next up is Cow. You heard it right. They've confirmed that this name is Cow. Not Moo Moo, not Moo Cow. It's just Cow. And hey, in real life, if I fought just a cow, it would win. End of story. Alright, next up, back to the main cast with Daisy. Now, Daisy, I would say, is an interesting conversation based off of costumes, because the costumes do make a difference here. But if you're really a Nintendo and Mario fan, I don't have to explain this. You can just watch. Yeah, end of conversation. Daisy would kill me with a smile. She is not to be fucked with. But to be clear on what those outfits were, we've got Daisy, her touring outfit, her pro racer outfit, some kind of biker suit she's had in previous Mario Kart games, vacation, swimwear, and Oasis, which I guess is the name for the Sarasaland outfits. Next up, we have Donkey Kong, literally a gorilla. People are having a debate right now if 100 guys could beat a single gorilla. I'm one guy. Donkey Kong and his armored all-terrain variant go straight into putting me into the obituaries. After that, we have Dolphin. Now, this is a conversation. Dolphins are interesting here because, like, yes, they're animals, and yes, they live in the water, so if I get it out of the water, I might win. But at the same time, dolphins are terrifying. Dolphins will attack you. And do worse things too. And I'm no good at fighting in the water. If I can't get it out of the water, it wins easily. I kind of want to say barely lose here. Because again, if I somehow get this guy out of the water, I'm winning. But if I don't think I am. And I don't know if I can get a dolphin out of the water. Next up, we've got some skeletons back to back, which I have a very interesting idea about this. It's interesting that both Dry Bones and Fishbone can't die. Right? Well, actually, now that I think about it, when Fishbone gets destroyed, it doesn't respawn like a Dry Bones does. But assuming they both have Dry Bones logic, I destroy it, they come back. I destroy it, they come back. But at the same time, yes, Mario and them die by touching them. This is kind of just a turtle and just a fish. If anything, they're less threatening because they're just bones. So I don't think they're hurting me, but I don't think I'm killing them. I think by definition, Dry Bones and Fishbone are even matches. I kill them, they come back, they can't do anything to me, I kill them again. Up next is Goomba, this short round idiot with no arms. I don't think I have to explain why I would win. Oh, he's gonna bite me. Oh, Mario dies when you touch him. Well, Mario's built differently and I'm built better. One big step, this dude's out of here. Hammer Bro, now we're talking. A live turtle, muscles to hurt me, and a weapon. If Dry Bones is even match, I think Hammer Bros has to go to beat me by a good margin immediately. Not to mention the amount of times that a Hammer Bros has just killed me in game, specifically in Mario 1, where they were a whole menace. Next up, we have King Boo and his variants. Now, there is an interesting conversation around King Boo, and that is he physical? Because this kind of goes into the Pokemon versus a million lions debate. I've always said Pokemon win by default because there are ghost-type Pokemon that are incorporeal to physical things, and the only way to hurt them is through Pokemon moves, which lions don't have. Now I hear you, oh, Bite's a dark-type move. Bite is like a physical manifestation of energy from a Pokemon, not just literally biting someone. If it was literally biting someone, humans could use the move Bite, and they can't. So, assuming that King Boo is incorporeal, he wins, right? Now, I guess this could go back to the Dry Bones argument, where like, if he can't touch me and I can't touch him, it's a draw. But King Boo has been a threat in other ways than just touching people, like Dry Bones hasn't. Like, Dry Bones has only been a threat as in touching someone and they die instantly. King Boo, on the other hand, has used weapons, has used mechs before. So, As he stands, he is just a guy, but I think it's worthwhile to bring up that if in the right situation, he can kill me. Now, looking at just a Boo, I'm gonna give him even match. I don't know how to defeat a ghost, but he doesn't know how to defeat me. But every other variant I'm putting into puts me in the obituaries, because these are variants where King Boo is wearing a physical costume which can probably hurt my body, and I can't do anything, so eventually he'll win. To be clear though, those variants are Pro Racer, Aristocrat, and Pirate. And let me just say, a Pirate King Boo variant might be my full main when the game comes out. Either that or Cataquack. Up next, we got basic ass turtles back to back. First up, Koopa himself. He is a turtle, an unarmed turtle. I'm gonna say it's easy with a bit of a struggle. The only struggle is getting through that shell. But that we have Koopa variants to talk about. Looking at the Koopa variants we have, there is Pro Racer, All-Terrain, Runner, some kind of construction worker outfit, and sailor. Now, construction worker outfit, all-terrain, and Pro Racer all give him some additional armor, which I do think is going to bump those costumes from easy with a bit of a struggle to even match. Look, he's armored, it's up in the air, which one of us is going to make it out the other side? That being said, Runner gives him a baseball hat, and Sailor makes him look like a dummy. So frankly, I think both of those bump him down to not even a contest. Next up, we have 3 outfits confirmed for Lakitu. And I don't know about you, but looking at Lakitu without a cloud makes me a little uncomfortable. Like, it feels like he's naked. Regardless, he is just a turtle again, but with poor eyesight. So base Lakitu is going to not even a contest. When he dressed up, it didn't make much of a difference, so he goes right next to him. But again, Pro Racer is giving him armor, so I will bump that up to easy with a bit of a struggle. Next up, we have Monty Mole. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll know there's some lore with this channel associated with Monty Mole, and that is that he's a deviant freak.
Sorry, I don't know how to use all the buttons. I turned on my Switch in a long time. Okay. How do, what?
What if I just always hit the Monty Shows Whole button?
Why would you call it that? That's vile.
No. It's spread everything.
No.
He's a mole. It's what he knows best.
There's a child in this mole.
Jay the Pentagon in chat just said missionary Monty.
Oh, no.
I thought this was a family channel.
So I'm not messing with that. He would destroy me if he can just do that in public. He's gonna put me right into the obituaries. I'm not even kidding. Nabbit, on the other hand, is interesting, right? So he's one of those enemies that's actually pretty fearsome. He's quick, he steals a lot of stuff, and he can kidnap you. That being said, he is kind of just a small little guy, so I think like one swift kick and I win this. But he is still pretty fast. I think I want to put it up to barely lose. It depends on your day. Sometimes I win, most of the times I lose, and he's just faster, right? He's just quick with it. Next up is Pauline, and she's a mayor of a whole city, and she's been around since the 80s. This lady will kill me. Pretty straightforward. And honestly, the same goes for our main girl, Princess Peach. She not only has shown several times how lethal she is, but just look at that aura. This is Elwood's aura personified, and she will kill me in every outfit we have confirmed for her. Which, by the way, is her touring outfit, Pro Racer, her biker suit, vacation, yukata, aviator, a farmer outfit, and this short-sleeved headband outfit that's kind of reminiscent of Rosie Riveter. All of them very cute, by the way. Back with some more one-offs, we have Peepa, who is just a ghost, and since he's unarmed, I think he goes into even match, like we've said with Dry Bones and unarmed King Boo. I don't think I can touch him, and I don't think he can touch me. Next up, however, is a penguin. And as much as it would feel bad, he is just a penguin, so I feel like this goes straight into easy with a bit of a struggle. The only reason it's not no contest is because he's kind of a big penguin, but I feel like a couple swift kicks, he's out of there. Now Piantas though. Piantas are a bit bigger than Mario, they're stocky, and they are always dancing. So you know these guys are strong as hell. This dude could snap me over his knee in half if he wanted to. That being said, they're pretty peaceable people, and I feel like I can get a couple quick attacks in before he realizes we're fighting. So I think I lose this, and I think he beats me by a good margin. But it's not a guarantee. I think some versions of this, I walk out of there. Not with this next one though, which is Piranha Plant. I've seen Little Shop of Horrors enough to know that a big flower with teeth on it, it's gonna win. Also, Pokey. Pokey is just a cactus. I'm good. It got me. Next up, Rocky Wrench. Now, if Monty Mole, a freak of nature who is willing to show hole in public, is on this list as puts me in the obituaries, his freak cousin who wears fetish gear and is armed is also going in the same category. Those two dudes will run me down. And it ain't getting much better for me, because the tier list put Rosalina next. If baby Rosalina has enough powers to kill me instantly, so does Rosalina and all her variants. Which, by the way, are Touring, Pro Racer, some biker suit from a previous game, and this outfit that resembles the Aurora skin from Mario Kart Tour. Alright, now it's finally getting a little bit better for me. We've got Shy Guy and his two variants, this ski outfit and this racing outfit. I don't care if he's got goggles on or if he's got headgear on. He is a little guy who, when you take his mask, gets really shy and runs away. He is so puntable by design. Every single variant of Shy Guy, I am stomping out easily. Speaking of stomping out, we have Sidestepper. Now, to be fair, he's like half the size of Mario, so he's like a foot tall. It's a foot tall crab. Crabs are no joke. This is like the worst built crab I've ever seen. You talking about real crabs, that's a foot tall, that's an apex predator. This guy, I can use this guy for soccer practice. This guy, yeah, I think because he has pincers, he's armed, he'll go into easy with a bit of a struggle. If he gets me, it'll hurt. But like one swift kick, I'm having a good dinner. Next up, Snowman. On one hand, I will wait, he melts. On the other hand, these eyes have seen blood, and I'm a little frightened of them. So I think I'm going to put him into even match. If it's winter, I'm kind of boned. Any other season, I'll wait it out. Now, Spike. I've mentioned that Monty Mole being a freak makes me think he can beat me. And we've got Spike here, who is like the definition of freak. Watch this dude. Yeah, that's insane. I think by definition, he has to go in obituaries, because even if he wasn't that much of a freak, he can't spit up a massive weapon at any time. Now, Stingbee's interesting here. On one hand, 2 foot large bee. That's a problem. On the other hand, bees are built in a way that even if it was big, you would punch into it like a piñata, right? They're incredibly frail built because they need to be able to fly. So if I punch him one time in the side, I'm good. And I think a stinger that big honestly won't hurt as much as I thought it would. So I kind of want to put this guy into barely win. We're like, yeah, he stings me, probably gonna hurt. Maybe it's got so much toxin that I'll freeze and he wins or whatever. But he's really big and is a big target and easy to dodge his big ass single stinger. Swoop, it's like Stingbee, but less threatening and unarmed. Easy, done and done, not even a contest. Now we have the Toad variants. Now, for the most part, Toad is kind of a pushover, and I feel like if I kicked him, he would bounce away like a beach ball. So I do want to put Toad and most of his variants into no contest. However, we do have one very important variant, and that's his Pro Racer variant. Look at this man's. I mean, we don't know it's called Pro Racer, but I'm assuming his whole head is a helmet. So while him and his other variants, Explorer, Burger Bud, and this Train Engineer, go into no contest because he's Toad, I do have to say, I think his Pro Racer variant is gonna go into barely win. He's still very puntable, but I feel like I'll hurt my foot a little bit when I do it. As far as Toadette, kind of a similar story. Toadette is equally kind of a pushover, but also has that one variant where she's got a helmet on. That being said, she does scare me in a frightening way that I can't explain, so I'll give her, instead of not even a contest, easy with a bit of a struggle. And that's for this like Captain Toad look and train conductor look. However, for soft server, she is literally made out of ice cream, so I am going to put that not even a contest, because I feel like if I kick her too hard, the ice cream will just get pushed away, which is a little scary. And yeah, since everything's being bumped up by one, Toadette with a helmet goes into barely win. Next up, we have Waluigi. Now, Wario is a threat, and I respect and fear him, but his like weird-ass friend, Waluigi, and I say friend because it's not confirmed they're brothers, he's just another weird guy. This dude is built like the twinkiest twink to ever twink. I feel like a strong breeze would break 2 of his bones. I feel like if I picked him up with one hand and shook him really hard, he would die like a rag doll. So pretty much most of his variants are going to go into no contest. And that's normal, Pro Racer, which is apparently just him in a nice suit, mariachi, and vampire. However, there is a different story with biker and road ruffian. He gets armor now. He's a little more threatening. Are those brass knuckles? I don't know, maybe. I'm a little bit on edge. He is still very frail though, so I think both of these go into easy with a bit of a struggle. Next up, our second to last major character, we have Wario. Now, if Waluigi is a twink, Wario is a bear, and you don't mess with a bear unless you want to end up hurt. So most of these I think are beating me by a good margin, and that's normal Wario, biker Wario, this like goggle outfit Wario, I'm assuming Oasis Wario judging based off of Daisy and Luigi's outfit, Construction Wario, and Biker Wario. However, there's two other Wario variants we have to talk about. One of them is Pirate Wario, which if he's a pirate, he's even shadier. That's put me in the obituaries. But there's one variant of Wario we need to talk about, and that's Bee Wario. There are like sentient bees in this universe. We just talked about Sting Bee. This feels racist. Wario, you can't do that. He gets his own tier. And for our final major character, my toddler's favorite, Yoshi. Yoshi, I feel like similar to Berto, could fuck me up, but Yoshi seems a bit more dopier than Berto ever was, so I feel a little bit better about my chances. I'll put most of these into beat me by a good margin. That would be regular Yoshi, this Pro Racer one, Food Slinger, Visor, whatever, this nice gentlemanly Yoshi, the Swimwear Yoshi, the Touring Yoshi, and the Japanese-inspired Yoshi. But then there's this blue cool Yoshi with a spiked collar, very similar to Boshi. And yeah, he's terrifying. I think he will kill me, so I'm putting him right into obituaries. And our final one, for some reason, Wiggler. Shout out Nintendo of America for not tweeting out correctly, by the way. This goes a lot of ways, I fear. Because on one hand, he's really big, but on the other hand, he's kind of squishy looking, and I feel like I could step on him a bunch. But on the other hand, he's got a temper. And on the other hand, he's got a lot of hands. I really don't know, but I don't think I'm winning, which makes me feel like he goes into I barely lose. And that's every confirmed Mario Kart World visually identifiable character and costume we know so far, ranked on if I could personally beat them in a fight. 149 characters so far. What an insane roster. I thought we were at like 80, but when I added them all to the template, tiermaker.com says the template has 149 images, so I'm just gonna agree with their counting. If you want to make this tier list, I'll put the link in the description below. Feel free to make them and share them. I think this is a fun time. I am so excited for Mario Kart World, and you know we will be streaming it hour 1 at like 1 a.m. Thursday when the console and game come out. But until then, you've been watching RyeTwost. Of all the YouTube channels, it's the second one. Stay toasty, slices.